Mainland China has recently entered full-on grill mode, with temperatures soaring between 86 degrees Fahrenheit and 118 degrees Fahrenheit. In many places, birds are literally passing out from the heat and falling from the sky. Online, people are launching sarcastic heatwave battles, each city claiming to be the real king of the furnace. A contestant from Henan showed popcorn popping right on the ground. In Hefei, Anhui, someone grilled shrimp directly on the road. In Wuhan, it was stir-fried eggs and meat. And if you're vegetarian, you could vote for the Shandong team. Bonus points if your flip-flops melted. Even in northern cities famous for ice and snow tourism, ground temperatures reached a scorching 149 degrees Fahrenheit. Several universities have no air conditioning or even fans. At Jilin University, students are already losing it. Some have turned dorm halls into a water festival, others are pitching tents on the sports field or laying mats in the stairwells to sleep. But even as the heat breaks records, real temperature data is tightly sealed by the CCP. A blogger from Shandong pointed out that the actual weather was much hotter than what the forecast claimed. When his video hit 1.1 million views, it was suddenly throttled. Yet when he checked the status of his account on Douyin, China's TikTok, it all appeared normal. In Sichuan, a blazing 129 degrees Fahrenheit showed up on the news until the party showed up, and poof, it dropped to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Who needs AC when you've got censorship? On July 6, a beloved dorm manager at Qingdao University, Grandpa Zhang Peisheng, tragically died from heat stroke. Until his final moments, he was caring for a stray cat who had just given birth. His death ignited outrage among students. The dorms still don't have air conditioning, and basic staff like Zhang were treated appallingly. He had been trying to take the sick kitten to a vet, but the school had withheld his wages for 8 months. He had no money. He couldn't afford the cafeteria, so he only ate plain dried noodles. In winter, he wore discarded student clothes and used them to keep the kittens warm. He was also in charge of the entire dorm's maintenance. Meanwhile, student tuition and housing fees range from $700 to $8,200 per year. In 2025, the Shandong Provincial Department of Education allocated 29 billion RMB, that's roughly 4 billion USD, to Qingdao University. And yet they say they don't have the money to pay staff. We can accept the school not giving out student scholarships, but how could you not pay this old man? How can a prestigious university have zero basic human compassion? Grandpa Zhang had 3 fans, all of which he used for the cats. His room was tiny, with no ventilation. The fans blew nothing but hot air. Students said their dorms reached 97 degrees Fahrenheit to 102 degrees Fahrenheit, 36 degrees Celsius to 39 degrees Celsius. At night, they couldn't sleep until 3 or 4 a.m., only to wake up soaked in sweat by 7 or 8. They couldn't study during the day, and some collapsed from heat stroke and had to be carried out. Yet international students had fully equipped dorms, AC, hot water, and fast internet. University leaders sip tea in Antarctic offices while we roast in ovens. All they care about is promoting that lousy graduation ceremony. Why not have them live in our dorms for 2 months? A government not loved by the people will fall. A school not loved by students will shut down. Qingdao University's leadership are not human. On July 7th, the school rushed out a statement saying they would investigate. Meanwhile, the university's contracted property management company, Shandong Mingde Group, followed the CCP's crisis playbook and issued a threat. They claimed Zhang wasn't the employee and warned students to delete all rumors online or face legal consequences. That same day, another school, Yantai Nanshan College, announced they'd allocate funds to finally install AC. Why the sudden change? Just days earlier, multiple students had fainted from the heat and had to be rushed away in ambulances. The school's first response? One-on-one counseling sessions to teach students to be more positive. Yes, what they called mental health support was just a fancy name for intimidation. Their other solution? Each dorm was gifted a single huge slice of watermelon to share. That's 4 watermelons split between more than 200 students. The school likely didn't have much political protection. They were scared that if a student died like the dorm grandpa, it'd hurt their enrollment. So for now, students were sent home to escape the heat. And the plan is to install AC during summer break and have students retake exams next semester if the AC ever gets installed. Other schools took a more aggressive stance. At Harbin Engineering University, which has a national defense background, the leadership claimed that anyone saying Harbin is hot doesn't understand climate science. Complaints about lack of air conditioning were labeled as foreign infiltration, mainly by the US, because this university is on an American blacklist. Yet ironically, the foreign students at the school all have fully air-conditioned dorms. Why? Because white European bodies are built differently from us Chinese. At other universities, campus party officials were ordered to suppress negative posts. Students were only allowed to express positive emotions. But the most extreme case came from Lunan Technical Institute. These students, many under 18, were treated like modern-day yellow slaves, were sold off to Cherry Auto Factory as interns at the end of June. There they were forced to weld for 12 hours a day in tin-roofed workshops that hit 104 degrees Fahrenheit, working 15-hour days, including commuting. Their pay was only $2.28 per hour. Students complained. Teachers' response, even longer hours. All over the country, the heat is pushing people to the brink. In Zhejiang, one driver passed out while driving from heat stroke and was saved by strangers who smashed his window. Others weren't so lucky. On July 2nd, a train in Jinhua collided with a cargo vehicle and was stranded for 3 hours. The AC and ventilation completely shut down. The sealed compartments became ovens with no oxygen. Passengers begged staff to open the doors for air, promising they wouldn't leave the train. Everyone waited, everyone begged, but after 3 unbearable hours, only one guy dared to break the window for air. But the moment he acted, train police appeared. The opposite window wasn't opened. The broken one was blocked by police, and the only man with the courage to act was taken away. According to China's railway emergency response rules, passengers have the right to break windows for ventilation after 15 minutes if no action is taken, and they bear no legal responsibility. But of course, the regime can't openly punish this young man, so state media mocked him instead, saying the cabin was only 87.8 degrees Fahrenheit and accused him of emotional instability. They praised the trained police officer who hogged the open window as someone protecting public safety. And at moments like this, we can't help but remember what happened in 2021. People trapped in a flooded subway were stopped from smashing the windows because breaking public property was against the rules. Later, the CCP quietly pulled the drowned cars out, one by one, wrapped in black cloth. The saddest part, these are the same people who wouldn't even make a peep in front of the party, too scared to save themselves when it really matters, yet spend their days online yelling threats and spewing hate at others. It's a national tragedy. Just a short while ago, on June 21st, a train heading to Brighton in the UK broke down mid-journey. The passengers quickly opened the windows to get some fresh air. Thirsty and hungry, they ordered delivery, and when the delivery guy arrived, he literally tossed bottled water right onto the train. Later, the doors were opened to evacuate everyone safely. No one got hurt. Of course, the comment sections were flooded with pro-CCP trolls who can't tell the difference between patriotism and blind loyalty to the party. They immediately tried to shift the focus, stir up division, attack anyone who admires foreign ways, and even expressed hateful wishes against others. While half of China is suffering in fire, Xiaomi, the tech giant just behind Huawei, announced a 20 times jump in AC sales compared to last year. On July 4th, China's National Energy Bureau reported that the country's maximum electricity demand had surged to 1.47 billion kilowatts, up 150 million kilowatts from last year. And in a bizarre twist, Chilean mountains in Qingdao province saw a freak snowstorm. Snow piled up to 3.94 inches. Tents, horses, and sheep all looked like it was winter again. Yesterday was blazing sun. Today it's snow halfway up the tires, one netizen said. Meanwhile, the south continues to drown in floods. In Chinese culture, extreme weather is often viewed as a sign from heaven, an omen of injustice, disaster, or major shifts in power. In ancient times, court historians would record such phenomena in dedicated chapters, warning rulers to change course and serve the people. One famous example comes from 628 AD during the reign of Li Shimin, one of China's greatest emperors during the Tang dynasty. A great drought and locust plague swept across the capital Chang'an and its surrounding areas. Even the imperial gardens were overrun. One day, the emperor picked up a locust and made a vow. Grain is the lifeline of my people. You're destroying it. If this is heaven's punishment, then blame me. I am the emperor. It's my failure. If you have spiritual awareness, bring the disaster to me instead. He then swallowed the locust to prove his sincerity. His officials tried to stop him, fearing he'd fall ill, but he insisted, if heaven wants to punish someone, let it be me, not my people. Soon after, the locust plague disappeared, and for the rest of his reign, they never returned. Today, disasters are everywhere, man-made and natural. Maybe breaking that window isn't the only way out. Maybe owning your mistakes is also a form of self-rescue. One way or another, we can only hope the Chinese people find a way forward in this chaos and some kind of peace in this troubled land.